Hey guys, welcome to the testing phase of this video. So, Offtime here has politely and very kindly and very helpfully built a bunch of things for us to test the grenades on, so you guys have a better idea of how much stuff you are going to need to break into stuff. So if you want to break into bases, so we've got all this here to test out the different door types, the different wall types, panel types, you name it, we're going to test it and see what damage does what. Okay, I guess we'll begin with the Tier 1 Foundation. She's 100 out of 100 HP. So if we use this one grenade, so that one grenade just then did about 15 points of damage, more or less. But let's try getting a grenade on top of it rather than underneath it, because that looked like it went underneath. So that hit it a bit more square, but as you can see, still, you're going to need quite a few grenades to get rid of one platform. But you're probably going to be focusing on doors, perhaps, depending on the kind of base you're trying to get into. So this is a Tier 1 door. So the most basic door you'll come across. And if we throw a grenade, that's doing bang on 30 points of damage just then. So you're going to need an average of about 4 grenades to get through your average Tier 1 door. So what about Tier 2, the reinforced door? As you can see, it takes a few more materials. It's already taken 1 HP damage from the proximity of that explosion. But if we throw a grenade, that reinforced door is taking about 5 HP of damage per HESH grenade. So that is a lot tougher. You're going to need a lot of these to get through. A lot. So at this point, you're probably better off using a Demolition Charge. And of course, as you might imagine, the really fortified door is probably just going to laugh at your grenades. As you can see, 2 HP of damage. It's going to laugh at your grenades and just keep standing there. So yeah, you definitely don't want to risk wasting a lot of grenades on the final T3 door, or even the T2, I would suggest. I wouldn't recommend using those grenades. Okay, next, a Tier 2 Foundation, the reinforced platform. How is this going to handle a HESH grenade? I think we all know how this is going to go. So yeah, 3 HP of damage. I damaged myself a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that I threw it square. But yeah, I would probably recommend against using a HESH grenade, and at this point you definitely want to move on to Demolition Charges to actually remove these more stubborn structures. And just for giggles, what kind of damage does it do to T3? 1 HP of damage. Yeah, don't use grenades for those. And I think Offtime is making something. He's making something. So, fortified walls, how do they handle grenades?
If you go here, you have all types of walls. You have all types of what you call doors. The last one is all sorts of ceilings, and you can test them, even like the area damage if there is any, with the what you call it, charges. So if you place it
yes,
on the floor, if the ceiling gets damaged and stuff like that.
Oh, it definitely has a big area of effect, because we've used one so far, and it broke a lot of things. But yeah, we'll do the walls next. We've got reinforced, fortified, and Tier 1. So the Tier 1 is obviously going to take a fair bit of damage, but we'll see. So there is about 20 points of damage. So again, you're going to need a good handful of grenades to get through one wall. I guess it all depends on the kind of base you're trying to break into, because if it's built without a lot of stability, obviously this is full stability right now, then you might want to target the weaker points of the structure so the rest falls down. So moving on, the reinforced wall. What kind of damage will that take? You guessed it, about 5 HP of damage. So again, you're probably not going to want to risk using grenades until you've possibly weakened it with a demolition charge. If you've only got 5 HP left on the wall, you might not want to use another demo charge because those are expensive. So you might want to just weaken it off with the grenades. And of course the fortified wall is probably just going to laugh. As you can see, the wall has clearly chuckled and taken 2 HP of damage. So how about the ceilings? Moving on to ceiling tiles. Square tiles. Stability is not too hot on this one. As you can see, we're looking about just over 15 points of damage, so again, grenades very good for tier 1 structures. You can just make a bunch of these and then break in that way, unless you want to get a demo charge and absolutely destroy everything. And as always, I reckon this is going to just laugh. So, about 4 HP of damage on the reinforced square. And we've come over to the fortified tile. 1 HP of damage. So yeah, grenades, not so good for that. Ooh, asteroids. But yes, grenades, not so good for that. But let's move on to demolition charges and see how they affect all the structures. Alright folks, moving on. Demo charges now. I've got 3 of these. And so we'll start off, of course, with the tier 1. You may recall from the previous video that it's not a good idea to set off many of these at once, because they will counter each other and explode the other ones so they don't go off. So make sure you just use one at a time, don't go crazy. So tier 1 structure, full health. Arming the charge. So not only did that completely annihilate that tier 1 foundation, about 6 or 7 feet away, it also destroyed the tier 1 wall over here and the tier 1 door. So if you've got a tier 1 base that you're trying to break into, demo charges all the way. It also slightly injured some of the other walls nearby, I think. What did it do over here? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Just took out the door for some reason. I guess it was only tier 1, so it makes sense. And in here, as you can see, I have reinforced door, reinforced frame. Everything has 100% health. It's fortified, fortified, reinforced. So we'll pop this down and see what happens. But don't forget guys, this is early access, so all damage properties, all structure properties are always subject to change. It could change at any point. There has been discussions about other weaponry to dismantle bases and such, so anything could change at any time. So don't take any of this to be definite and 100% accurate further into the future, because it could all change at any point. Such is the wonder of being involved in early access. Anything could change at any time. So as you can see, that did 15 points of damage to the fortified floor here. So you would need quite a few if you wanted to take down a base that's on its fortified level rather than reinforced. We did a hell of a lot of damage to the reinforced door from the position. And we did no damage to the door frame, which is interesting, if a little unusual. But yeah, that's nearly taken out that reinforced door with just that one charge. So at this point, you might want to use HESH grenades just to finish it off. And we also did about just slightly under 50% damage to the fortified door, which is of course the ultimate door. But again, no damage to the door frames though. It's interesting. So the blast radius is quite big. So yeah, you're talking about 14 points of damage for the final tier. So at tier 3, basically, you're going to have to use demo charges, or you're just going to tickle it. But you're probably quite unlikely to see any tier 3 structures at this point, apart from maybe massive clans of people. So yeah, for reinforced, you want to step up your game from the HESH grenades to demolition charges. Hopefully, that has helped a lot of you figure out what you should be doing, how many things you're going to need, and what the kind of damage output should be expected to be. So guys, I hope that was helpful for some of you guys that are playing Memories of Mars. Now you'll know how many grenades you're going to need, and how many demolition charges you're probably going to need as well. And I'm not sure what he's making here. I don't know if he was going to test some more types of walls, but it's all swings and roundabouts. Reinforced is better than T1, and T3 is obviously better than the reinforced. And if it's T3, you're going to need many, 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 many demolition charges to break and enter. But like I said, it's quite unlikely that you're going to see any bases made out of T3. You probably will see some out of reinforced. And again, it depends entirely on the base you're trying to attack. Entirely on the base you're trying to attack. If it's got loads of pillars, for example, holding it up, like say that was all pillars rather than foundations, obviously you would attack the pillars because it would bring down the entire base, and you'd have to use less materials. So it would be a bonus. But guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Special thanks to Off Time for popping over and giving us a hand setting all this up. And I'll see you guys next time.